Thank you very much for the opportunity to appear before the committee today to speak to this incredibly important issue. As Canada's leading national animal law organization, Animal Justice wholeheartedly supports Bill C-355, which would end the export of live horses from Canada for slaughter overseas. This is a relatively new practice which appears to have started less than 20 years ago when an American company relocated to Western Canada. Exporting live horses to Japan for slaughter causes significant and unnecessary suffering to horses. For this reason, the vast majority of Canadians from all provinces and of all political stripes support a ban on this practice. Horses shipped to Japan for slaughter endure an extremely long and stressful journey, are subjected to conditions that are much worse than those in which sport and show horses are transported to and from events. I've observed these shipments with my own eyes many times at the Winnipeg airport and have watched as workers jab horses with poles to get them off the trucks and have seen them loaded into small wooden crates, barely larger than their bodies. Once they're in these open-sided crates, they wait on the noisy airport tarmac to be loaded onto their planes, even during frigid winter temperatures. In contrast, Air Canada's equine transport service ships a maximum of 18 horses per flight, ensuring spacious conditions and humane conditions for transport. Horses transported for slaughter are often loaded onto flights that carry 100 or even more horses at a time. You heard a lot this morning about how the rules are the same, but in practice, the conditions are different. The committee has before it clear and compelling scientific evidence showing that the way that horses are exported for slaughter, the way that they are treated is completely unacceptable and puts them at risk of fear, panic, extreme thirst, hunger, and fatigue, injury, and illness. Some have even died en route. Tragic incidents of horses dying during transport or becoming seriously injured are deeply concerning and highlight the dangerous nature of this practice. But I want to be clear that even when horses survive the journey without any apparent injuries, their welfare can still be severely compromised, as the expert evidence before you clearly shows. These are animals with a high center of gravity, highly sensitive hearing, strong flight instincts. Recent scientific research shows that even short road trips of 3 or more hours can affect horses' endocrine and immune function. So the time to end this practice is now. I've heard some committee members suggest that our existing laws are enough to protect horses exported for slaughter, but as an animal protection lawyer, I would like to be absolutely clear that that's not the case. Provincial animal welfare laws and the federal criminal code are seldom used in the agricultural context. They're primarily applied when someone is deliberately cruel to an animal, such as beating an animal or starving them. Suffering caused by standard industry practices, including transport overseas, is exempt. The health of animals regulations prohibit transporting horses for more than 28 hours without food, water, and rest, but even that meager limit is not always enforced. Just this week, Animal Justice was in court in Winnipeg, where a judge agreed to lay a charge against a horse export company for a shipment that went well over the legal limit and during which at least 3 horses collapsed, yet the CFIA refused to take enforcement action. We calculate how long these short horses are denied food, water, and rest based on when the plane touches down in Japan, as if the second that they land, they're given food and water and they can immediately rest. But of course, we know that's not the case. The reality is the horse's journey is far from over at that point. After the dozens of horses are unloaded from the planes, taken out of their crates, they're loaded onto trucks, and then they are transported to quarantine facilities. The fact is, I don't know how long that journey takes. So we simply do not know how much longer the journey goes after the plane touches down, but it raises serious concerns that many of these shipments may actually go over the 28-hour limit. I urge you to support Bill C-355 and bring our laws in line with the values of Canadians. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.